Welcome to the LOTUS Map Editor tutorial. In this episode we're going to talk about the last two windows we didn't explain yet. This is the lines window and the tours window. In this case we're going to use the Düsseldorf map because for the upcoming update we need to expand the line 76, and I already created the routes and the ways. And as we know from the last episode, from the last tutorial, we have to create the first trips of each way. Okay, so I created these 6 trips. I've got a short disclaimer. I wrote this document, which has every departure from either the main station, which is called DHB in the short term, or a Rote Heide, which is called HOT in a short form. But these times we're gonna see here are the departure as it is in the timetable, which is displayed for the passengers. As there are in our timetable we're gonna create now, there are sometimes like 1 or 2 minutes from the operational stop somewhere in turning point to the first station where the passengers can enter, and this is quite confusing. So there may be some difficulties in there, but as it is a difficulty for me, it may be also a difficulty for you, so keep that in mind. I would also like to add that I got these times from this timetable which is attached to our add-on. Unfortunately it is in German, but so we're gonna add these 4 courses in the time section Monday to Friday, which is kinda a lot of time to do. So let's start. First thing of course is we click on this plus and enter the name 76 for our line 76. When we now click on edit, we get this line with courses window, which is from midnight till midnight. These times are not as these on the clock, because if your tram or bus or whatever is driving past midnight, it's quite often useful to name the times like 25, 26, 27. So you can see that these trips, which are in this section, belong to the day before. By now we've got no course, so we add a new course, which has a number. The first thing we're gonna edit is the traffic days. We're gonna use the Monday to Friday traffic day. You can also set the AI priority, but we set this by now to like trips. Now we can move our available trips to our course. Keep in mind that you by now see only the unassigned courses. So if we use this course, it's getting removed from this list as it is used in our course. As we also got the next trip, which is right behind this trip, we can select this trip running 17 past 5 from Rote Heide to Düsseldorf main station. And we're gonna use the way back. This trip overlaps both existing trips. We're gonna already add in the right order. So let's hold Control and put this to the right place. The key element is that these 2 trips, or all of these trips, have a small arrow between them. This means that there's everything correct, and if there would be a mistake or something like that, or an error, or you maybe define something which is incorrect, there may be no small arrow, or some other hints in red that you did a mistake. The next step is to repeat these 2 trips till this tram will go to the depot. So we right click on this trip and click on copy to trip to the currently marked course. The next departure is 6 6:39, and after that it's 7:59. So we got an interval of 80 minutes. Keep in mind that we also have some extra time to drive from the begin of this trip to the first station. So these are the 2 minutes from 6:37 to 6:39, which the passengers can enter. And yeah, now we can use the number of copies value to create several copies till the last departure of 18:59 is reached. I'm very happy to announce that I miscalculated my big document, which is not that bad, but it's also not that good. So we click first on OK. We also click here on OK. We do this also with this trip, but only 9 times, because the train will drive from the main station to the depot. But this we're gonna add afterwards. I want to show you a new course, the second to say so, which now is marked. You can click on the courses with the left mouse button. So we are now in the first trip, and now we're in the second trip. Cursor meant. Sorry for that. As we will copy these already used trips to the new course, which slightly different departure times. We click on every trip. We need only once. And keep in mind that this will copy the trip to the currently marked course. So you need to click on the second course before using this function. We only need this one time. And something like this. We also create a new group. And now we can move the trip a little bit backwards, because it will start 20 minutes before this trip. As this was 4:54, this should be 4:34. As you can see here, there is a small dotted arrow to this other trip, which means that this trip could be used before this trip. And also, as you can see, this trip has several options where it can be used. Next thing we're gonna use is the second trip from Hotel Heide to main station. And you can see that this trip could have connections to several other trips, but as this is only, it will hopefully prevent you from making a stupid mistake. A helping hand for you. Also, we're gonna copy this trip and put it on 5:39. If we hover above this trip, you see on the left side down here which time this tram will departure. So you can move this trip on the exact minute you want to set the departure to this tram. Also for this, we copy like 10 times 80 minutes interval this trip. I would like to take your focus on this button, which adds the trip to the trip group. So if you make a change and you have these trip groups, the changes will be assigned from one trip, where you do the changes, to all other trips of this group. Like if you change the time profile of this trip, all other trips got the changed time profile. So that's why this is quite helpful. We also do this for the trip in the other direction, and we got 2 courses. Of course, we have to set here Monday till Friday, and now we're gonna check this small timetable for our line 76. It's not complete, of course. In our tours window, for now we got 3 trips which are not assigned to our courses. You can see them here. And these 3 trips are shown here and also here. As the map editor calculates your tours list, I can tell that these 2 tours are alright, and these are as we made them in the lines window just before. And later on, when also these 3 trips are used, these will disappear from here, well, which is, as I said, automatically. If you want to change something in here, you can add a tour. Let's say you want to add a tour. If you right click on this, you can set the AI priority. And we're gonna change this trip to the new tour. So this tour will start in Hote Heide and will drive to the depot, which is kind of stupid, let's say, because the vehicle will spawn in Hote Heide. So this is quite senseless in this case, but you can basically change these trips where you want. But if there's an error, like here, the endpoint of this trip doesn't match the start point of this trip, so you get a red line. As we now have an empty tour, we can delete the empty tours, so this is gone. And also we can select several stuff from these tours, like we're gonna filter the this. So if there is the start or endpoint on the main station, the trips are displayed, but if none, they are set in slightly in gray, like these. And we can choose between several view options, like trip names, start or end station. Now we've got manipulated these tours list for these vehicles. You see they are separated by the vehicles and the traffic days, and this small box is the indicator that you manipulated this tours list. You can see these 3 lists aren't manipulated afterwards, so it is only automatically calculated by the map editor and was fine. I don't know if this is a special thing from Linux, because I'm obviously using Linux, and maybe on the Windows PC there is another sign, but I got this box. So that's all for today. This concludes the timetables in Lotus, and I see you at a tutorial for the next topic. Bye!